very briefly, I suppose, I work with the local authority, with the town council in Neen in North Tipperary, and one of the services we provide is a leisure centre. So as I said there, it's operated by the council now, but it goes back to what was an open pool in the 1950s, and like lots of things, I suppose it developed incrementally over the years. First of all, it was an open swimming pool used in the summer, developed by a local committee, and developed over the years, and it has had different jobs done on it from the 60s to the 70s, right through to the 90s, and up to today. And it's a 25-metre swimming pool, and has other ancillary facilities like a gym and that type of thing as well. And I suppose it operates from 7 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, so that's just, 360 1 or 2 days in the year. We just close for a few days around Christmas, so it obviously has a suitability for something like biomass, maybe, which is a little bit different to the school setting. And it has the other big need is, I suppose, we need to keep water at the same temperature nearly 24/7, other than there's a cover book on the pool. So it has potential there for something like biomass that runs away there quietly, let's say. I suppose we operated on oil, and we had an old oil burner which was, I think, 65% efficient, and at that stage we were looking at the potential for biomass, but I suppose there was no real grant available which was to do something. So we put in a high efficiency oil burner in 2009 because the price of oil had risen significantly, and we'll look at that in a second. In March 2010 we put out a tender, as Paddy said, and launched for a biomass district heating with our pool and with another facility nearby, the local hotel. And I suppose we did get a good response to that, but unfortunately the price of putting the district heating pipe in the ground per linear metre was just going to cost too much, and the payback was going to be too long, unfortunately. So we went ahead and procured a 400 kilowatt biomass boiler, and we also then signed a heat supply and maintenance agreement for 3 years. With Clear Cargo, who are here, we'll talk more about that in a second. Just a bit on the historical heating costs. Like, as we all know, oil has gone up and gone down, but overall it's on the up. We were spending there, from 60,000 per year, 58,000, 77,000 in 2008. When we put in the high efficiency oil burner, it paid back for itself in 6 months because the other one was there from the 1970s, so we were certainly sending a lot of euros up in the air. So that reduced our cost a little bit, and also then the price of oil came down around 2009 and we were back to 43,000. And in 2011 then the cost shot up again. So then, looking at the whole biomass thing and doing the different calculations, the plan was to have that kind of saved for a full year cost maybe less than 40,000, which would save us between 20 to 25,000 per year in oil costs. That's just a small table just showing the oil supply and the heat used by the pool. So we generally got about 10,000 litres per month of oil in to heat the pool. And I suppose it would be true to say that the fabric of the building as well, we would have energy loss, and we're working on that at the moment. I suppose I'll just come back to that now in a second. Looking at the biomass, the risk analysis of it, I suppose we looked at transferring the risk or selling the risk in this heat agreement, and we found that it's supposed to be a good idea. No more than the schools, our main interest is a leisure centre, people doing swimming lessons. We don't really operate boilers. So we entered into a heat agreement, which means that I suppose the supplier supplies us with heat, and that can be either in the form through biomass, which is what I presume will work most of the time, but our backup oil burner will work if there's a problem with the biomass. But it's up to the supplier, I suppose, to pay for the oil if the wood chip burner is down. We've signed that for 3 years, includes all oil, biomass and oil. So it means, I suppose, that the local authority can fix the price or knows the price, other than the fact that there's the index linked, depending on the price increases overall. The capital cost of our burner, we put in a 400 kilowatt burner at a cost of €205,000. We got a grant from a European funded project, SERV, of 80,000, which meant it costs us 125,000. Now the simple payback worked out there was 5.2 years, but initial figures would give us an idea that we might get that payback even quicker than that. And I'll go back to that slide now in a few minutes. And I suppose we do plan to develop a few more systems in the future. Just a few images which are always a help. This is just the fuel store, the boiler house is the area of building, and there's a fuel store beside it. And there's the auger system between, and they come and they blow in the chip into it. This is inside in the boiler house, the Cobb boiler, Austrian, 400 kilowatt. It seems to be working very efficiently. The whole monitoring of it can be done on-site but also off-site. So the contractor can basically monitor and adjust this from an off-site position, which I suppose makes it more economical from their point of view and from our point of view. As well as heating the water in the building, it's now going to heat the air handling unit, which actually heats the space, the airspace in the building as well. That's just we're just starting that now. Just go back up here a second slide. Just to give us an idea, this really only got going in July and August, but September this year to September last year, we would have had 11,000 litres of oil in September 2010 at a cost of 6.3. In biomass this year we used 446,000 kilowatts at 0.065 cent per kilowatt, cost us 2,143. So in September, and these are crude enough figures yet, but if we looked at it in September, we saved about 4,600 on the price of oil, and in October, again, if you looked at last year, approximately about 11,000 litres of oil cost us 6.3. This year, the biomass cost us 2.5. So that's a saving of 3.7. So in 2 months, a saving of around 8,000 euros. Now, that's significant when you multiply it over the year. The saving won't probably be as much in the winter months when we're using, we'll be using more chip. But if the 8,000 for 2 months is going to be a great saving over the year. So just a few, I suppose, key points from our point of view. We went with the change from oil to biomass. We want to save money and to use green energy. I suppose it's the local authority that's important. We have an energy team, and local authorities, no more than the HSE, to get down our use of carbon. I suppose the heat agreement is important from our perspective. The manager of the leisure centre has to manage staff, and we manage the public coming in. We've got between 90 and 100,000 visits a year to the leisure centre. So a member of the public, whether they come repeatedly, but it's about 90 to 100,000 visitors to the leisure centre. So the work there is to manage that, and not to get involved in meeting 10 technicians or trying to explain, like John was saying about the school. So we hand over that, and I suppose we paid a little bit of a premium for it. But even working back, the value still seems to be there for us. I suppose, again, linking to the previous speakers, from our end, a very important point would be a very clear specification when you're starting out from the point of view of the design and build of the boiler and of the fuel store, to try and make sure that you overcome any difficulties with the project. Just two sub-points. We've used about 90 tonnes of wood chips since August, and just used the equivalent of 2 wheelie bins of ash has always come out of it. That's the only waste out of 90 tonnes. So it is burning at a very efficient rate.